Hello everyone, so let's start today with anatomy of a tibia. So this is a tibia. It has a medial condyle. This one is a lateral condyle. Over here is present a tibial tuberosity. This is the interosseous border. This one is the anterior border. This is the lateral surface. This is the medial surface, and this is the posterior surface. This is the soleal line. Besides the soleal line, over here is present a vertical line, and on this side here is present a nutrient foramen. Here is present a fibular facet for articulation with the fibia. Then the tibia, it is a long bone, as you can see. It is a typical long bone. This is the medial malleolus. This is the fibular notch. And beside a medial malleolus, there is a malleolar groove. So, it is the medial bone of the leg, and its function is tibia alone receives the weight from the femur and transmits it to the foot. So this is how it articulates. See, this is the femur, and this is the tibia fibula. So, tibia articulates with the femur and fibula articulates with the tibia. So tibia is the only bone which articulates with the femur. Then coming to the next, that is the structures. It is composed of the upper end, lower end, and the shaft. So starting with the upper end, this is the upper end of the tibia. It has a intercondylar area. Intercondylar area is divided into the anterior intercondylar area, posterior intercondylar area, medial and lateral tubercles of intercondylar eminence. Here is present a fibular facet and a groove for semimembranous is present on this side over here, groove for semimembranous. Then coming to the next, that is the medial condyle. This is the medial condyle. It is larger, more prominent, and it is present posteriorly. Its upper surface carries an oval facet for articulation with the medial condyle of the femur. And this is the lateral condyle. It has an oval facet for articulation with the lateral condyle of the femur. This is how it articulates with the femur. Medial epicondyle of the femur with the medial condyle of the tibia, lateral condyle with the lateral epicondyle, and they also carries an lateral condyle. This is the lateral condyle. It is smaller as compared to the medial condyle. Then coming to the intercondylar area, actually the anterior intercondylar area. This is the anterior intercondylar area. It gives attachment to the anterior horn of medial lemniscus, anterior cruciate ligament, and the third one, that is the anterior horn of lateral meniscus. Then the posterior intercondylar area gives attachment to the posterior horn of lateral meniscus, posterior horn of medial meniscus, and posterior cruciate ligament. Then the intercondylar eminence. The function of the intercondylar eminence of tibia, which has a lateral and which has this medial and lateral tubercle, project into the intercondylar notch. See, this is the intercondylar notch of the femur that projects inside the intercondylar notch of the femur like this. Actually, they are broken from this part of the tibia, so they project in the intercondylar eminence, intercondylar notch of the femur, preventing side to side movement of the femur on tibia. Then coming to the next point, that is the tibial tuberosity. See, this is the tibial tuberosity. It has an upper rough part and lower smooth part. So upper part gives attachment to the patellar ligament, and lower is related to the infrapatellar bursa. Then coming to the shaft of the tibia. This is the shaft of the tibia. It is very thick above. See, it is very thick above, and gradually it becomes thinner till the junction of the middle and lower third, then becoming thick again. See, it becomes thick, thin, and again it becomes thick at the lower end. It has a 3 border. This is the anterior border, anterocious border, and this one is the medial border. It has a 3 surfaces: medial surface, lateral surface, and a posterior surface. Anterior border is also known as the shin of the tibia. Anterior border begins above at the Tbr Tuberosity and continues to the round below at the medial malleolus. Then coming to the anterocious border, begins above at the fibular facet, over here fibular facet, and ends below at the anterior border of the fibular notch. So this is the fibular notch. Then coming to the medial border, begins below the medial condyle. See, medial border begins below medial condyle above and ends at medial malleolus below. Then the medial surface is present between the anterior and medial border. Anterior and medial border के बीच में होता है medial surface. Lateral surface होता है anterior और anterocious border के बीच में. Then coming to the next surface, that is the posterior surface. See, this is the posterior surface. ये होता है anterocious and medial borders के बीच में. It has 2 lines and a nutrient foramen, that is a soleal line, vertical line, and a nutrient foramen. Then coming to the lower end of the tibia. This is the lower end of the tibia. It is thick and has a 5 surfaces. This is the lateral surface. It has a fibular notch for the lower end of the fibula, and the floor of the notch, this part, gives attachment to the tibiofibular ligament. Then coming to the medial surface. This is the medial surface. It's project downward, forming the medial malleolus. ये है medial malleolus, which has a groove for 2 muscles. Tibialis posterior, somewhere here is present a groove which gives attachment to the 2 muscles, that is tibialis posterior and flexor digitorum longus. Then coming to the anterior surface. This is the anterior surface. It is smooth and continuous with the lateral surface of the shaft. This is the posterior surface. It is smooth also, and it has a faint groove for flexor hallucis longus tendon. And an inferior surface shows a concave 4-sided articular surface which articulates with the upper surface of the talus, forms an ankle joint. Then subcutaneous parts of tibia. Medial and lateral condyles are the subcutaneous part. Then the tibial tuberosity, shin, this is the shin and the medial surface, and the medial malleolus. These are the subcutaneous parts of the tibia. Then coming to the next part, that is the muscles and ligaments attached to the tibia. This is the upper end. So structures attached to the anterior and posterior intercondylar area. Then iliotibial tract is attached to the lateral condyle. Over here is attached iliotibial tract. Then patellar ligament is attached to the tibial tuberosity. Semimembranous is inserted into the groove on the back of the medial condyle. See over here, semimembranous is attached. Then capsule of knee joint is attached. Then this is the shaft. This is the medial surface. It's a medial surface of the shaft gives attachment to the sartorius muscle. See, over here is attached the sartorius muscle, then the gracilis muscle, then semitendinous muscle, and the medial ligament of knee joint. See, this sartorius, gracilis, and semitendinous muscle. Then coming to the lateral surface. This is the lateral surface. Tibialis anterior muscle arises from its upper 2/3. Then coming to the posterior surface. This is the posterior surface. Popliteus muscle is inserted into the upper part of the posterior surface. Then soleus muscle. See, here is attached the popliteus muscle, and over here is attached the soleus muscle. Then flexor digitorum longus. Soleus muscle is continuation of a soleal line. Then below the soleal line arises from over here flexor digitorum longus. Below the flexor digitorum longus is present the tibialis posterior. Popliteus muscle arises into the upper part of the posterior surface. Then soleus muscle arises where the soleal line is there, and below the soleal line there is attachment of the flexor digitorum longus. So this is the flexor digitorum longus. Then tibialis posterior, this is the tibialis posterior, rises below the soleal line and lateral to the vertical line. Then coming to the lower end of the tibia, this is the lower end of the tibia. Capsule of ankle joint is attached over here. And inferior tibiofibular joints ligaments are also attached. Then the deltoid ligament attached to the tip of the medial malleolus. So this is all about the tibia. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to refer my notes, you can even visit my Instagram account, that is anatomy1803. So do like this video. Thank you.